Good afternoon. Today is Monday, April 21st. It is a 3-day. Right? Think about triangles. Think about balance. Think about structuring. Think about fixing. Think about preparing, especially as we prepare to receive this new moon in Taurus in 6 days, right? T minus 6. We're going to get into the general message for the collective. If this is your first time here, hello, hello, hello. My name is Etta, mystic healer, intuitive, and spiritual life coach. If you are watching this on the YouTube replay, hello. How are you on this day? We will be doing readers. We will be doing readings, one card pulls for subscribers to the live. Personal readings are available. After we do the general reading, we only have space to do it for 3 individuals. The moderators are on deck to keep this place a safe and sacred one. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to pull the general message for the collective. But before we do that, let me just tidy up a little bit, right? How are you guys doing? Right? We went through the eclipses. We went through that lunar eclipse on March 13th, the solar eclipse on March 29th. We've made it through the 40 days and 40 nights of Venus retrograde. We made it through the 40 days and 40 nights of Lent. And I know you guys are not surprised by the Pope because we talked about this, right? It's been a lot going on cosmically. So let's just take a minute to breathe. Acknowledge how far you've come. Hold grace for yourself that you didn't give up. No matter how hard things got, you didn't give up. You persevered. And if you're here with me, that is testament to your, as I pull up the camera a little higher to get more table space, right? Your perseverance is a testament to your greatness. It's a testament of who you are. You've started showing up in your authenticity, and you know what, baby? I was going to grab my tea, but it's way too hot, right? You are doing better than you realize. Give yourself credit for that. Holy Spirit, what message do you have for the collective on this Monday, the first day of the week, right? You've done your road opening stuff, right? You've done your Monday setting the intention for your week type of stuff. Woo. We're not going to take any of these, right? Because they're just, including the one that fell on the floor. Holy Spirit, what message do you have for the collective on this Monday? We'll get one from this deck. Moderators, please take note for me, please, of anybody who would like a reading, subscribers to the live or subscribers to the Patreon. Get one monthly pull, one card pull a month. Holy Spirit, what other message do we have for the collective on this Monday? They're being very particular today. Anything else? I mean, might as well clarify the last one. And then we'll get one from here. Thank you for the roses and the gifts. Ooh. Ha ha, Spirit. Very funny. It's in giving we receive. They know that. Anything else? We're going to take this one because it fell this way, but we're just going to leave it like that. Right. Anything else? Okay, we'll take these two. And lastly, what is the vibe? This will be fine. You guys can see everything, right? What is the vibe on this? Jesus. Wowzers. Wowzers, wowzers, wowzers. Thank you, thank you, thank you, all of you guys, for spending this part of your day with Spirit, the Soul Tribe, and me. Before we went live, we recorded a video, and it's for someone or somebody's trying to figure out, do they stay, do they go? But this season, Taurus season, is all about honoring your self-worth, right? Especially those of you who kind of shrank yourselves a little bit because you were too much. You've had fun doing that. Now it's time to do something new, which is stand completely in all of your wonderfulness, right? Some of you have been hiding your spiritual gifts. You've been hiding different parts of you. No, baby, it's time to let all of that loose and free so they can let loose and free all of your blessings and all of your gifts, right? I'm hearing dead and gone, right? Whatever has been laid to rest, whatever has been laid to rest, whatever is DEAD, let it be, right? Yeah, the job of resurrectors is to wake up the dead, but a lot of situations have come to their end, right? Not their season end, but their series end, right? Do not go back to the places that you prayed yourself out of. Do not go back to places that made you cry or to invalue your worth, even if it was for a minute, unless you intuitively feel that that place doesn't exist no more, but is now showing up as a new place. All the cosmic happenings that have been occurring in sync with one another have been preparing you to receive your blessings, to receive your wish fulfillment on every single level. But your hands got to be empty in order to receive it. And if you're holding on to that past, to that person, to that job, to that way of thinking, they can't bring it to you. Your guides can't bring it to you, right? What's the vibe? And it's crossing all of this. So let's see what's going on under here first, right? We have alchemy, which came out a few times last week. Remembering that you are the magician, remembering that you are the magic. You have the inherent God-given ability to manifest, the dreams of your life. And those who have been infringing by doing black magic, by doing spell work, those who have tried to manipulate your destiny, manipulate your free will, manipulate you into, showing up as a lower vibrational version of yourself so you can meet them where they're at rather than them growing to meet you where you're at. Baby, that time is behind you. Let it go. Those people who have been working on you, right, are about to be exposed, right? They just want you to continue 11, 12 to along your journey and prepare to receive the harvest, the bountiful harvest of all the seeds you've sown over the past few years, most especially over the past few months where times seem the darkest, right? Crossing by established. We haven't seen this in a while, right? With that Ferrari, settled, secure, and wealthy. Not just financially wealthy. Yeah, that's coming too. But that wealth of peace, that wealth of health, that wealth of living, that wealth that can only come with living life unapologetically, living life free. Some of you have been in situations that you've tried to wiggle your way out of, and it seems like no matter how hard you try to get out of that contract, that agreement, that something kept you stuck. That thing that kept you stuck is coming to the surface, is coming to the light. Move accordingly, right? everyone with this community card that has tried to keep you from not just your greatness, but keep you in this lack mindset, keep you in this showing up as the lower vibrational version of yourself. They're being revealed. Move accordingly. Whatever needs to have a proper funeral and be a memory, do so this week before we have that new abundant moon that's coming in Taurus, right? All about grounding, all about stability, all about wealth, right? Security. Whatever calls or comes to the front of mind to be let go, released this week, let it go, right? Whatever chaos, whatever tower moment, whatever upheaval that is coming is for your highest good. It's removing everything that's been on your blocks, that has been a block to your pathway, a block to your journey, a block to you ascending, elevating to that next level. Some of you, that block is you. And your faulty thinking and your negative Nancy or Norman thoughts and your woe is me and I gotta live life this way and your vices. Some of y'all are addicted to sex with the wrong people. You mistake your divinity, that power of creation, right? And you're a bit of a nympho. We listen and we don't judge, right? We just strive to know better so that we can do better. Your misuse of your sacral energy will keep you here. No matter how big your plans are, no matter how intelligent you are, your degrees, your credentials, the people you know, you will only get to make it to a certain level if you don't get that sacral energy in check. Further clarified by autopilot. And look at her, right? Talking about putting your sacral energy in check. She's kind of covering herself, right? And coming into that balance with ceremony. And while we see the divine feminine on these cards, it also represents the masculine. We all have that duality within us. I need a sip of my tea. With the ceremony card, right, we also, in both cards, we see a surrender to the sacred. It's time to leave the fleshly, whatever that means to you, because again, we listen and we don't judge. We support, right? The fleshly ways, leave that behind you. It's a good time to look into getting Reiki done. It's a good time to do spiritual cleansings this week, both within your home and preparing a baño or a bath or limpia for yourself, right? We've got several names for the same thing. This is a good time to work with camphor. This is a good time because we're in earth season, right? Work with the earth. We just wrapped up working with fire, and that showed up in very chaotic ways, right? Especially around the eclipses. Change your crystals. If the weather is nice in your area, go dig your toes in some dirt, in some sand, into some running water. Cleansings don't have to be elaborate with the incense and the Florida water and the agua de this and the rose water and the mint leaves and the parsley. We could do that, and we do that. But sometimes cleansing is as simple as sitting in the wind on a rock and letting your cares and worries be taken from you. Letting the wind and the earth ground and balance you out. Taking a dip in the ocean, right? Without the other things is a cleansing as well. This week is about that. It's about getting into balance with that. It's about doing work, the inner work, the meditative work, to balance those chakras, balance you, because we knew since like late fall that by the time May comes around, it's going to be one of those moments of blessings after blessings after blessings after blessings. Now, if you are still in the energy of being stubborn, of being upset, of being aggravated, of being just not wanting to do the work anymore and frustrated, I feel you with every fiber of my being. But I'm going to hold your hand when I say you this, when I tell you this. Okay? This is the moment when you are frustrated and you feel like giving up, where you are called to double down the most. Because you can either, right, be propelled forward in your journey or set back in your journey. And regardless of who is doing what to prevent you from going along your journey, at the end of the day, you only have yourself to blame. We feel these things, we see these things, we see the signs, right? When somebody's doing the black magic and has a candle lit and our name underneath, and you know, you may not have the words to say you know, but spiritually, intuitively, you know. This is a good time to get really good. And Spirit's been telling us this for weeks, right? Going on autopilot, getting really good with trusting your intuition and your connection to Source. So those answers that you seek, especially when you're using ChatGPT, right, come directly to you without being clouded, right? Or putting you in a place where you just simply don't understand what you're being shown. Case in point, when we're not grounded, right, and we dream, angels visited me the other night. I have no clue what they said because I couldn't understand. And why I couldn't understand, that's another story for another day. But as I'm looking at this autopilot card, it reminded me of the dream, because this person that I was speaking to, I realized they weren't a person in the dream because they were as tall as almost a skyscraper. And I could hear them clearly, but what they were saying, that let me know that during this season of resurrection, during this season where we're going between the cross and the crown, right? That moment, because I had it around, I think it was either Thursday night or Friday morning, I had that dream, right? People do the most work, right? On my Santeria, voodoo, and the like, they work the hardest during the Holy Week, right? Because they know no candles are lit, and they say God looks the other way. It's not so much that God looks the other way, but more so it is a cosmic spiritual reset, a null point. And a lot of people use that null point, right, to throw as many daggers as they possibly can. But when you are protected, you've learned how to recognize the signs and symptoms of a spiritual attack. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. A lot of you, just by whose child you are, and I'm not talking about your mommy and your daddy, but the angels that have claimed you as theirs, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Some of y'all hand them the weapon and then wonder why it's prospering. But that's also another story for another day. Smell the roses. Slow down. Take some you time. What did you guys do this weekend? Not for the kids, not for the Easter hunt, not for Ishtar, right? What did you do for you? How did you celebrate you? How did you pamper yourself? How did you love on you? That is still and forever will be your number one priority. Think of ways that you can make that into your daily routine, like brushing your teeth, right? You do brush your teeth every day, twice. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about self-care, right? Make sure you're indulging and loving on you every single day in every single way, and make it a routine. Use Taurus season to make that a routine. With this one, run with the wolves. This is giving the energy of this moment, these next 6 months with this 24, which is 6, and 6 is the number of balance, right? We just had that Libra full moon, right, which wrapped up the eclipses from late fall. That kind of kicked everybody's ASS, you know what I mean, right? These next 6 months are going to be filled with a lot of changes for those who can actually surrender and go with the flow. If you're going to fight, cool. Just don't complain when things don't work out the way that you want. Sometimes your guides will drag you, but we've gotten to the point where you've been given so much information, you've been given so much guidance, you've been given so much that if you're fighting now, this is a free will choice, and you get to repeat whatever cycle that you are due to repeat. But by November, right, and you can mark your calendar and come back, right, by November, do the work. Do the work, do the work, do the work, do the work. No matter how hurtful it is, how painful it is, bringing up all wounds. Yeah, I get it. Go to therapy, get a counselor, get some healing, do your cleansings, because the messages are coming in very slowly for a reason. Spirit wants to make it loud and clear for the collective. Okay? Between late fall and eclipse season, right? It was a cosmic storm of chaos, right? Things being ripped away from you, things being thrust into the light to make it painstakingly clear. Your spirit guides actually shoving things in your face and holding your eyes, both eyes wide open for you to finally understand and see a situation for what it is, not what you think it is or want it to be. These past 40 days and 40 nights have been about releasing it. These next 6 months are about embracing the changes and standing in the place that you're supposed to be at this leg in your journey. So when 2026 comes in, right, especially the new year, the astrological new year of 2026 comes in, there's no more wishing and hoping and praying for this, that, and the third. There's only really room for gratitude, because no longer are you becoming you. And this is like the third time this message has come out, right? You're entering in a season where you just be, you just are, you just standing in your I am unapologetically. It's going to hurt for some things and some people. Releasing that person, releasing that, because you've always done it, right? Releasing that way of being is going to be challenging. But your future self requires it. Lastly, intimacy. But this is also giving the vibe, right? Where once you've balanced that relationship within yourself, you've accepted your place in the sun and started showing up in the world in the way that you are supposed to, right? Unapologetically, letting it all hang out, and whoever has something to say about it, they can, right? That's when you find balance with your partner. Do not forget, twin flames, kingdom spouses, purpose partners. The work you do on yourself intuitively encourages your person to do the same type of healing work on themselves, whether or not you guys are together, whether or not you're in communication. That's the beauty of a true twin flame union, right? And there goes that distant horizon, reminding us what seems so far away is about to happen if you allow it. The journey continues. If you really make best use of, isn't your North Node your destiny, right? What you're striving to? Coming into cosmic agreement of showing up the way that you are supposed to, being grounded, right, in yourself, so that the universe can ground everything that's outside of yourself. Bring you that peace, right, that structure, that home, both within and without, right? That home, that peace that comes from inside of you, and that peace that is in your world. It's going to require you to release some of the familiar, right? And create a new familiar, right? We started off talking about releasing the memories of old loves and things that didn't work out, so you can make new ones. The season, Taurus season, it's going to require a lot. It's going to require you to put on your big girl or big boy boots and take the world by storm. Pun intended, right? There's no more, okay, yeah, it's going to happen. It's about standing in your I am and know that this is the moment right before it goes bang. Everything clicks into place. Everything happens for you. Use these lights as the moon's light continues to wane and gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer and dimmer to release anything that causes any type of emotional confusion, block, or stagnancy in your life. Let it go once and for all. Let them go once and for all so that you can receive the good thing, the karma with the 17, which is 8, right? That you have coming for you. That is your message. Let's see what you guys are talking about in the comments. Got some serious guys in here today. Not the regular jokey type, but they mean business today because they want you to really understand that, yeah, it's really at a now or never point. You either get with the program or you get left behind. You choose. You either do what needs to be done or you get left behind. You choose. All right. See what you guys have going on in these comments. Serious but beat up. We at 3:00 we coming for the homie. At 3:00 we coming for the homie. Oh my goodness. My guides are lecturing me. I'm getting a beating over the, oh my god, they really, oh, Morty, what did you do? Aw. Morty, no worries. This is the tough part, but we'll get past it. Hey, loca, how are you? Hi, Miss Nicole. These boots were made for walking. Right? Hi, username. How are you? Hey, Boogie Woogie Woogie. I have no choice but to. Yeah. Energetically, that's, yeah. Right? But it's okay, right? Because everything that's happening is part of the journey. Hey, Juicy. How are you? Lil Brat, how are you? Honeybee, how are you? Jackie O. Hey, Figure It Fit, how are you feeling? I saw the message about your dream and wanted to know how you're feeling after the fact, because that's definitely, well, technically a sleep paralysis, but that comes with a demonic attack. So, how are you? My internet has been so glitchy. We're going to be out of Mars's shadow phase around April 26th. So things will start to clear up. Let's call it Wednesday, right? And then as we get into May and May is rolling, we get that breather before the next Mercury retrograde. What color did you paint the dresser, honeybee? Ooh, Morty, I like the fact that you relaxed the entire weekend. T has been in bed all weekend. I love it. By the way, Etta, you was right. Pope barely made it past Easter and almost to the clock, right? We live in a world, right, that our parents didn't get to see, right? Where we have so much access to information that it is really simple to see the witchcraft right in front of you, right? That the powers that be do, right? Everything is in plain sight. There's a very thin veil, but it's pretty much non-existent at this point. It's no coincidence. In December for Christmas, he opened up these gates, these doors, right, that are only opened every 25 years. 2 plus 5 is 7. Catch the math. Always follow the math, right? And then, right, and then, right, he falls sick, right, and has a pulmonary issue, which talks to being stifled, being made to shh, right? And when we saw him at the even before Lent began, it was just like, there's no way possible, medically possible, with the condition and how his medical prognosis was flowing. It was just no way possible. It was an any day type of deal. But being that the powers that be are who they are, they're going to paint it in such a way where it happens on one of the significant days or just right after, like John Paul, right? A few years ago? Well, not a few years ago, right? A little more than a decade ago, right? History is repeating itself. The why. One of the collective texted me today and she said, the Pope, and I don't think he's making it to heaven. And I had to giggle because we all know, right? Because you can follow the signs and the symptoms and great magic was used to hold him up as a puppet. And then when his usefulness, was no longer needed, he no longer needed to be puppeteered. Like, we could go into length. It's not safe to do so on the live. We could do like a private thingamajig, right? Which is just us, but you don't even have to tap in and tune in. You could just look at the timeline and see, really? This new moon in Taurus wraps up the eclipse season, which happened close to the middle of Lent, right? And that full moon, right, that we just experienced is the moon. They literally use the first full moon of spring to determine when Ash Wednesday is and when to start the Lenten season. That's why sometimes Easter is in March, sometimes Easter is in April. But they tell us not to. But they use the full moon to. The information is out there. It's no woo-woo. It's no speculation or conspiracy theory. It's like saying water is wet. It's out there, and when you pay attention, and you'll see who's real people when you're walking around versus the other forces. And this is why we carry our protection and we do what we need to do, because again, we're not battling people, but principalities, right? Who else is here? The purple aura. A purple aura was here. That's is that Zadkiel? Zadkiel has been very prominent, right? Helping to anoint, christen, baptize people into their higher level of spiritual practice. Hey, T. How are you? Did I say Jackie O? Hey, Jackie O. I was stuck on repeat saying what, because that's important. Hey, Roberson. How are you? How are you feeling? Come to the front of the line. How are you feeling? Empress Honey, you just confirmed everything I just said. Well, hey now. Was that bells? Maybe. Maybe. Quite a few people have made it to the other side over this past week. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. And I had an interview for a new position at my job. Made sure that lady didn't know. Look at you. Very proud of you, Boogie Woogie Woogie. Hey, Jess Double G, how are you? How are you? How are you? There is an 80s baby, 90s kid. I love that. The veil was thinning since 2008. And with all this hickory dickory dock going on, right? Because there's bippity boppity boo and there's hickory dickory dock. There's a difference, right? And hickory dickory dock is definitely more vile than bippity boppity boo. It comes from an ancient dark source. And the veil, yeah, no. No, bring back balance. You see, in my space, and some of you have experienced this, right? Especially higher echelon spiritual folks. When you start stringing certain words together, and this happened way before TikTok, way before Instagram, this has been going on for years. My talented and gifted kids, yeah, since then, people who have natural bippity boppity boo or hickory dickory dock abilities were always pointed out and singled out. And once we become too talkative, yeah, we get silenced. It saddens me. Oh my God. Oh, I just got shivers. One of my favorite creators, her name is Intuitive D. She gives the most amazing down to earth readings. Patreon, I shared her page with you guys. But she just made a video yesterday, over the weekend, with a degree saying if you see ba associated with my name, nope, that wasn't me. I didn't do that to myself. No, that ba had happened instead, and they're trying to make it look like you could put the pieces together. So we ought to be very, very, very careful, right? Even when we're on Google Meets or Zoom, we have to be careful, but it's just, we're not as out there and vulnerable as we are when we're on the big platforms. Yeah. Y'all go check out Intuitive D. Black but can decide red or teal trim. Ooh. I'm going for the red because, it's Monday and Elegua on my heart. So it's up to you, though. What's aesthetically pleasing to you? Tips to stay grounded. Meditating. Prayer. Tea. Herbal teas, right? I just finished my cup of raspberry tea, right? Lots of water. Less alcohol. Yeah. And keeping both eyes wide open, because things are not what they look like. Even when we're completely out of Mercury's shadow retrograde thingamajig, it feels like, because the energy right now is so heavy because of the passing, right? We're in this spiritual cosmic shift, man-made, of course, right? Illusions are being spun faster than we can actually physically pick up on, but you'll pick up on it intuitively. If you're in your calm, you keep your cortisol levels low, right? Meditate, drink tea, grounding, right? We talked about digging toes in dirt, digging your toes in the sand. If you live in an area where that's possible at this time of year, right? Taking a dip in the ocean if you can, or just, washing your hands, wiping it over the back of your neck, wiping your knees with some seawater, right? But staying in your calm and really thinking twice before you respond or react to anything or anyone. Hey, Georgia girl, how art thou? Just left the biggest botanica I've ever seen, nice and clean, and I think I know exactly in your neck of the woods or close to your neck of the woods, because they have that one and they have a bigger one in Jersey. I've been dreaming of taking a trip to Jersey just to stock up at their warehouse. It's nice, but I think I know the one you're talking about. You love your package? Yay! After I sent it, I felt like I should have sent some copal with it, but it's okay. Last couple of weeks, cortisol levels have been a little high, but nothing too serious. Yes, on Jerome. I haven't been to that one, but I've seen it. I have seen it like on their website and stuff, but they're associated with the one in Jersey. Which reminds me, I got to do a restock of the site. Oopsies. But I'm glad you love your package. Boogie, I have been in transition. I have been in transition. It's been a lot of sit down and meditate, sit down and pray. You see this? Sit down and do, sit down and do. And then life has been lifing. But in all, I'm great. Sacred Vibes, I've been on sporadically throughout the whole 40 days and 40 days, 40 days and 40 nights period, because, you know, the collective, there's been several people in the Soul Tribe, my OGs, who have gone through some very trying situations and losses. A lot of processing. So it's been hard to actually show up for my TikTok obligations, right? Because TikTok did tell me. That's another story for another day, but they understand. They understand. Hey, Margie. Hey, Margie. You're coming off a cold, but you're great. I'm happy to hear that, Dorsey. Really, really happy to hear that. I need to find a church here. Oh, that's always fun, right? Finding a church in a new area. Online has been glitchy. I want a trip to where sand is abundant. Antigua, Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, baby. Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad. Pick, right? Because the Caribbean Sea is definitely calling. Hey, Anthony. I'm glad they were ringing bells because, you know, who don't, well, you guys saw Spider-Man, right? And, darn it, what's the character's name? Venom. Ha. Venom, right? And how he was able to detach from the other guy. Actually, that Spider-Man movie did a really good job at illustrating of what it looks like when people have spiritual attachments to them and how they act out, right? D words don't like bells at all. It shakes them to their core. It's like salt to slugs. So I love that. I love that a lot. I'm thinking of getting a really, really large bell. Then I was like, where am I going to put the bell? Where? Tuning forks and singing bowls, right? Help keep them away as well. But they loathe bells. Soul Tribe, Wednesday. Let's get a meeting going. Let's say around 7:30. I'll send the invite out tomorrow. And tomorrow night, let's do that late night call on the live where we just chit chat about late night things and things of that nature. The time now is 2:31. We have space for like 3 subscriber readings. They're 1-card pulls, not too deep, right? But definitely get you going in the direction that you need to go. Hey, Toya, how are you? We had bells all over the door, but it got on my last nerve because Salem would ring it a lot because Salem knows what's up. Salem knows what time it is, right? They have everything. Oh, I can't wait. I can't. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Hey, Portia, you've been quiet. You've been quiet. Of course, Dorsey. Of course, of course, of course. Did you have a particular question? We're going to do Dorsey and then Miss Nicole, which leaves space for one. Miss Salem said, what up, though? Tell Salem I said hi. And Margie. Oh, Margie beat you by like 15 seconds, Portia. We'll see if we could squeeze you in. We have Dorsey followed by... Just that quick, right? Miss Nicole, Margie, and then maybe Portia. Soul Tribe, help me out. All right. Oh, that is next, right? On my journey is to get comfortable with cats. Dorsey, Divine, how are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? All right, let's get these readings. Personal readings are available, and this is the last 9 days, right? Anybody who's made a purchase during the month of April or sent a love offering or both, right, will be entered to win in our spring abundance giveaway coming in May. You guys are going to help me determine who gets what, right? Once we pick the 3 people who are winners, you guys will help me decide who gets the first blessing of, what do we say, $500, the second of $250, and the third of $118. And I just realized, hold on. As I'm saying that, because we're going strictly on mathematics and probabilities, I just legit realized, so we could document this, Soul Tribe members, OGs, and people who are in the mentorship and counseling program services, when this was rolled out in March, your purchases counted like 6 times, right? And then in April, everything counts 3 times, right? And some of you have made multiple purchases, so you've got like 12, 24 entries. So technically, oh, this would be fun, right? You can win more than once, right? You could be the first and the second. Oh, that would be exciting. Imagine somebody wins all 3. I'm just putting it out there because why not? But disclaimer, because I didn't realize that before, but being that you're entered multiple times, it's multiple shots at winning all 3. Wowzers. Dorsey. Dorsey. What is your question? What is your question? What's going on in the comments? What? Hi, Newhart. How are you? We have a baby. We have another one. Well, congratulations. We have a baby. Tell me more as we get ready to pull Dorsey's reading. Right? Oh my goodness. That is such a blessing. The list of growing babies that have entered into the Soul Tribe is wonderful. It's absolutely splendiferously wonderful. The phone was buffering. Yeah, we still got tech issues and things of that nature. But what was your question? soulfully drawn to us. Yeah, yeah, you are absolutely right. Oh, I could cry. I'm trying not to, but somebody wants to say something, but no, don't say it. 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 All right, focusing the energy back on Dorsey. Dorsey, what is your question? Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. A lot. Whatever spirit needs you to hear, you know what? Bet. Whatever spirit needs you to hear. All right. Holy Spirit, what message do you have for Say, aka? That was clear. Anything else that anything else that anything else that start here first. Lying to yourself is the most harmful spell. 24. The tongue is the whip of the body with the lovely Ochosi 16, 7, and 6. Definitely take a moment to check how you're speaking to yourself, your self-talk, right? It feels like there's been a lot of your self-talk. There's been a lot of upheaval and changes and which way do I go? What do I do? A lot of confusion, a lot of clouds. You remember once upon a time we said that you're being watched? A lot of people, witchy people in your community have eyes on you. It was always like a energy of watching you from afar, never being too close, never being seen. And when they did get close at one point in the beginning, so we're talking about 2 years ago or so, more than 2 years ago, right? They were always very, very close, very, very close and cloaked. And then they kind of like flit it off and let you do your thing. A lot of the things you've been experiencing over the past 18 months or so, a lot of it is just natural, right? It's just part of how your body's supposed to operate at this time, right? But you can make matters better or worse just by how you think, right? If you think you're trapped, if you think things are not going to get better, then they're not, right? If you think, oh, you know what, I have all this positivity, but, sometimes positivity doesn't get you anywhere, just got to face the facts. Yeah, but where is that fact coming from? Especially since a lot of these entities around you that are enamored with your innate spiritual gifts that just started budding, right? They haven't even fully bloomed yet, right? They're kind of sending confusion your way. This is above and beyond the natural confusion that comes with the whole Mercury retrograde season. It feels like energetically people unknown to you, right, who know of you, but you don't know of them, that were attracted to you by your light and your energetic field and have always had their eyes on you, right? These spiritual beings have purposely sent you confusion, have sent you the spirit of confusion to trip you up on your journey, to trip you up on the thing that you are building. Your guides are really asking for you to check how you're talking to yourself, because that's the only way you can let this thing in, or let it uproot your life, or give an open way for it to cause any type of havoc. Use this moment to really think about, again, the way you're talking to yourself. Really check yourself in an objective way, not from the point of view of the circumstances that have presented themselves in your life, especially over the past 6 to 18 months, right? Or 6 to 18 days, right? Or 6 to 18 weeks. 6 and 18 are being made prominent. But make sure your eyes are closed and open. You're seeing things clearly, because you're purposely being tripped up on your path. That's the biggest thing they want you to walk away from. Someone spiritually, someone's, because it's a group, right? They feel very covet-ish, but they come from, you heard that right. What you exactly just thought happened. They come from, a group that has been around doing what they do, right? Siphoning the energy of unsuspecting people that allow them to get into their head. So be careful and check your thoughts, okay? Okay. That is your message. I believe we have Miss Nicole next, followed by Margie and maybe Portia. We'll squeeze in Portia. Aww. Mr. I'm Not a Cat Guy is in love. I bet. You too, Newhart. Have an amazing day. I'm not surprised it's more difficult than usual, because they're delicately throwing things at you. Next is your household. So, you know what to do. Miss Nicole. Hey, Stormy. The reading list is closed. If you would like a personal reading, that information is in the bio. Anytime. And don't hesitate to text, okay? I would say or reach out on Instagram, but I have a love and hate relationship with Instagram. So I'm barely on. Miss Nicole, what question do you have? I'm like over the moon. I love that. And I love that you're sharing that energy with us. All right. Raise the vibration of the collective. Miss Nicole, where you at? And what's your question? Hey, Griselda. The last message I saw was, I'm here. And then Dorsey's, I appreciate that, Etta. And then Stormy. And then Divine, over the moon. And then scroll. No. Or is there interference coming through? Of course there's interference coming through. Do not forget. Because you in particular, when Spirit, Miss Nicole, when Spirit was talking about Holy Week and the spiritual implications and how people like to go the hardest with doing their baneful magic during that time, especially in the ATRs. I can't really speak for the others, right? But the ATRs definitely use that time, especially Holy Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, right, to do what they do best, right? Cause chaos and havoc and mayhem, right? So that's definitely playing a role in your world right now. Missy, this weekend been feeling very heavy-hearted in a good way, very emotional, just wanted to know. A purge, right? Because this is now in that 4 to 6 week window of trying to find TikTok safe words to say. We're in the 4 to 6 week window after you did to help your little one through a situation, right? And it was transmuted, and now it's not only that coming out, but other things, emotional baggage, anything weighing you down, right? Because this is a season, a time of releasing all of that things. All of those things are coming out to be released and cleansed. Maybe, can't say that. What you asked for, I could say that. What you've been asking for in terms of protection and transmutation, right, is shifting the work that's being sent on you. Literally, what people are sending for your harm is being transmitted into something for your good, but you need to carry it from a lighter body space, right? So whatever comes out, release it. If you feel you need to give a good cry, right? Cry. Go to the bridge and cry. Let it out. Go to the bridge and cry and dump it out, right? So that it spills over the water and release it. You're being crowned this year. Holy Spirit, what other message does the lovely need to hear at this moment? Remember, when I get goosies like this, it's hard because then the cold comes. I get very chilly. But the goosies like attack. One of the first original messages that you received was about your ancestors and their plans for you, right? As I look down to see Lucas, foolishness! Please stop. Somebody might take you seriously. like me, Miss Nicole, right? You remember that conversation about your ancestors and their plans. You've done the work, now they will too. But thank you. Courage is the fuel that will take you where you wish to be. But do you notice, right, that she's got her mini machete in hand, right, and her shield, right, giving somebody just said Wakanda vibes, right? But being that, not that warrior princess, but that queen defending her throne by any means necessary, right? But you notice she has like a smile or smirk on her face to let you know that whatever may come, you got it because they got you. And that crown they're preparing you to receive, right? There's nothing, no level of magic on earth or in the heavens or in that other place, right, that can stop it from happening. You are on the list of people that you gotta step into the place where you've been appointed, right? Just like we can't have a country with no president, like somebody's gonna be in that spot, right? Everybody's going to their assigned seating. You're on that list because the purpose you serve extends further than yourself and your loved one. It extends to the collective. So anybody that's coming, especially during Taurus season, is going to be dealt with if, and we heard this last week, if be mindful of giving your sorrows and prayers to folks, because a lot of the judgment for mistreating you, mishandling you, and others is coming down. So be careful, right? Especially you, right? Be careful who who you give your sorrows and prayers to, because you have folks in your circle that are going to be made an example of how you don't, you know how they say, touch not my anointed? Yeah. Yeah, you're going to find out who's trying to touch you, okay? With this Ace of Pentacles coming out, it's just a confirmation. You already know, right? Because they told you this a while ago. Getting to this hasn't been easy. It's not being handed to you on a silver platter. No, you fought the entire way. You showed up the entire way. And because you did what you're supposed to do, they're going to come and do what they're supposed to do. Just remember how you got to the crown. And do not forget, don't get all big time now, right? Once they give it to you, because just as you receive it, it could be taken it back, because with great power, right, comes great responsibility. Things are shifting. It doesn't seem like anything is happening. Doesn't seem like, and this is another reason why there was that moment of you take one step forward, two steps back, right? All of that was to get you out of your queendom mindset, right? But as long as you stay who you are now, soulfully, you'll be just fine forever. Your descendants will be just fine forever. Their descendants will just be fine forever, because you have severed a generational curse by doing exactly what you're doing now. And you will be paid for it handsomely. They use those exact words, whatever that means. That is your message, Miss Nicole. That brings us to Margie. And then Portia. Nope, hasn't been easy at all. Nope. But you showed up. But you showed up and you did the work. People don't understand. This is like, especially when it comes to the healing journey. It's hard, it's challenging. There's an investment, right? An investment of time, an investment of resources, an investment of sometimes everything you've got. And for some people, that's just too much. And they're not willing to do it on that terms. They're not willing to keep showing up for themselves. But the reward that comes even in the Bible, right? God helps those that help themselves. Your guys will bring you the candle, but you got to light it, right? Fire it up, right? And the folks that do that show up every day, they get knocked down, they get back up, they get knocked down, they get back up, they get knocked down, they get back up. You start recruiting other people. Ooh, oh, y'all didn't know about that, right? Those same ancestors that they speak badly to you about, and they take your names to their altar or this new thing, right? What the fuck is feeding people to the pot? Don't do that, right? Those same entities will see you and be like, oh no, we want to be on her team. We want to be on his team. Your strength attracts other helpers, both in the physical and the astral. And that's for you all to remember, especially in those moments where you're starting to feel defeated, when you're starting to feel like giving up. They throw you to the wolves. You become the leader of the pack. They throw you to the wolves because y'all seen that card come out. You come out the leader of the pack. Margie, relocating. Very simple, straight to the point, Margie, is the next chapter for Margie include relocating this year. Feels like with the 7 message card coming out in reverse and what they're showing me, a lot of loose ends need to be tied up before that can happen, right? Before that stability that you seek comes in, there's a lot both within and your mindset, the people you have around you. There's a lot of things that need to be set in order. Nothing out of the ordinary that you can't handle or are going to be overwhelmed with, but there are things that need tending to before they can even introduce that next chapter of your life. Holy Spirit, anything else you could give Margie about this next chapter? There's still parts of you that are a little lukewarm when things don't pan out. Natural humanness, right? They want you to become better at navigating the tough times or tough news. The twins, the joy of life is seen through the eyes of the innocent, the night in the moon, the night and day, right? Going back to what came out in the general message, I don't even think you were here, Margie, for that part of the message, where all this meditating and grounding and releasing that the collective is being called to do is to bring balance within the self. So balance could come, balance within, so balance without, right? Having that partnership within to call in the right partner who, okay. It's a no to relocating because you haven't prepared for the life you asked for. Dot your I's, and yes, that's my stomach. Dot your I's and cross your T's, right? Go over your paperwork. Go over your paperwork. Of course, do your meditating and stuff like that, right? And your cleansings. But go over everything in your life to make sure it is aligned and ready. Going back to that gift message we got in the general message, right? That you're ready to receive it. The fine details, the fine print, right? Because then they could send you on your way. You're not and you're not going to be relocated in the way that you think. That is your message. Hey, Portia, are you still with us? And I'm not saying anything, Margie. I'm just leaving that for you. But you know, you are welcome. The healing angel has joined us. Hey, Portia, what is your question? And you got to tell me your name on Patreon. Because some of you guys use your TikTok name as your screen name, and some of you guys use your whole government, and I have no idea. I figure it out energetically sometimes, but sometimes I'm just like, hey, anything you need to hear from Spirit. All right. We're going to tap in, and this is going to be the final card pull. Anybody else that would like a personal reading, that information is in the bio. What does Portia need to hear right now? What do her angelic team and guides need her to hear? Oh, they said don't use this deck. Well, excuse me. We just got whatever. What this? Fine. Start again. What does Portia need to hear at this time? What does Portia need to hear? Need to know most. Anything else? You have. Talk about sending you to the wolf, feeding you to the wolves, and coming out the leader of the pack. 34, which is 7. Trust your intuition, especially when it comes to all things, but most especially when it comes to boundaries. What came out in the general message for the collective was really being unafraid to release who and what you need to let go of. Do it. You're not alone. You're never alone, right? Your guides are always with you in this moment, and you got 7 twice, right? 34 is 7, right? Because 3 plus 4 is 7. 1 plus 6 is 7, right? You're in a divine moment of transformation and of change that requires your complete, total, and utter surrender. Yeah, you want this. There's a lot of human things that you want right now, right? A lot of desires that would fulfill your soul, right? That you want right now. But this time, this leg of your journey is about surrendering to Source, being fulfilled on the light, balancing the duality within so that you can prepare for your next leg of your journey. Is putting yourself in a nice little, because this came out in the messages yesterday, the chrysalis, right? This new moon in Taurus is, a lot of folks are in that chrysalis stage, or their chrysalis is just opening to let the butterfly through. You're being prepared to go into your chrysalis season like the butterfly, right? Where you were just a little slug, and, grubbing through life or whatever caterpillars do, right? Now you're being told to fully surrender, fully release. There's been points in times where you played with it, you joke with it, and you were like, oh, this is nice, I'm going back to my humanness. Oh, this is nice, I'm going back to my vices. Oh, this is nice, but I need some loving, right? It's okay. We've all been there. It's all a part of the journey, right? But at this leg, the emphasis is stepping into your divinity. And the only way to step into your divinity is through complete surrender. That is your message. Hello, Phil the Great. How art thou? How art thou? How art thou? How art thou? Healing angel. How's your day going? Before we wrap up the live, any general questions, thoughts, feelings, blessings that you want to share with everybody? Your voice is very catchy. It draws you in. I like that. I like that. I like being able to help the collective, and I'm glad you guys like my voice. Authentic Mama, hello. I'm glad you're good. Healing Angel. My day's going well. My belly is growling, so I'm going to go get something to eat. I'm here to experience the best angelic life. I love that. Oh, you're such a vibe. You're a Gemini sun. I think it looks like Geminis between the ages of, it feels like we have one group of Geminis that are either on the heels of their Saturn return, in the mix of their Saturn return, or just left their Saturn return. So we're talking about gems between 26 and 32. And then we have other gems between 36 and 46, right? We have these two groups that are really being held to the fire for change. Maybe because Gemini season is right around the corner, right? Even though we just started Taurus season, there's, for the collective, it feels like a great push for higher echelon spiritual folks with Gemini placements to really cut the shit, balance themselves, okay? Because that message kept coming up. It's not just the collective balancing the duality, but the most of us who are elevating into that higher level of spirituality to really get good at balancing those two sides of us, Geminis and Pisces, right? And anybody else who's double-minded or likes engaging in this and that, right? Playtime is over. You're either going to accept the spiritual quest or you're not. But there's no more dilly-dallying between the two. There's no more dilly-dallying. Caitlin, I'm not taking any more questions. Subscribers to the live and or the Patreon always get a one-card pull, which are never a one-card pull because your guides are super chatty. Everyone's guides are, right? Or you could just get a reading by scheduling one through the bio. Well, that's it. And Lilith has joined us. Ew. I want to thank you all for spending this part of your day with Spirit, the Soul Tribe, and me. I'm going to work on downloading this and uploading it to the YouTube. That should be fun. Eat something yummy because I'm about to enjoy your day. And as always, stay blessed.